Greetings, citizens, and welcome back to the Hidden Dagger Inn. I'm your host, LP on you, and tonight we're going to go take a deep dive into the world of fishing of Ashes of Creation. And without further ado, let's get started.
Ready to work.
As we delve into what fishing might be like in Ashes of Creation, we're going to discuss what's already been talked about by Steven, along with some speculation from my own experience in games like ArcheAge fishing, where I believe Ashes of Creation system might be similar. We know from past games like ArcheAge, as long as you had worms, you literally could fish for hours grinding up your skill and make a passive income either selling them or cooking them or turning them into Dawn's Lake essence.
Something different than what other games may have done. We want it to be engaging and, like you said, like that kind of like relaxing, right? Slow ride kind of vibe.
But at the same time, we don't want like AFK. Let's go.
So as you just saw and heard from Steven's comments, that AFK fishing will not be a mechanic available to you in Ashes of Creation. Steven also mentioned that he plans to incorporate some form of fishing tournaments, as he referenced ArcheAge more than once, which did have a fishing contest weekly on Saturdays. It was a good opportunity to help raise your skill while possibly getting lucky and reeling in the biggest fish, and for the coin purse and some other goodies.
Weekly fishing tournaments. I think fishing tournaments would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'll admit I played a game called ArcheAge, as some of you might know, and fishing was some fun in that. I didn't necessarily like the AFK fishing, and the sports fishing was okay, but I really liked how you would go and have fishing tournaments that would yield rewards and stuff for your performance. And I'd like to see some fishing style tournaments in Ashes.
Now, in ArcheAge, there was two types of fishing, and the first one was freshwater, and these were usually done locally on the map, out in Falcorth Plains or Arkham Iris or in Silent Forest, and some kind of ponds that were pretty much in relative safety. The only annoyance was people blocking the fish stand. And the gold was, it wasn't great. It was about 3 to 7 gold, depending on the weight of the fish, where you'd bring it back to the fish stand and collect your gold. It was a good way to go ahead and start your proficiency and start getting the idea how to fish, because it still did have the fishing mechanic, the mini game where you had to try to catch the fish the same as you would in sport fishing, but this one only used worms. And then you had the only other type of fishing in ArcheAge, which was sport fishing, where the gold compensation would easily double and sometimes triple freshwater fishing, where you could go out into the seas on your boat, throw some chum down where you saw some seagulls indicating a fish spot, then play an interactive game just like the other one, which was pretty fun, and you try to catch marlins, bluefin tunas, sailfish, and many more. So of those different species that you had, those different fish, you then had a chance to just catch a fry fish or a gargantuan, which you can only hold 2 gargantuans on the back of your boat. You could also put one on your back as well, so a total of 3 of the big ones, and those brought in considerably more gold. Now, after hearing the type of fishing that Steven was used to in ArcheAge, now I'm going to tell you about what kind of fishing types that he plans to do for Ashes of Creation. So the first type is going to be your small game fishing, which is a location based most likely around some ponds in and around Vera. This is probably where you're going to go ahead and start working on your fishing proficiency. And we all know that early in the game in Alpha 1, they had sparkles to identify the fish. Those will no longer be there. Then the second kind of fishing that Steven plans to have is coastal fishing, in which you'll be allowed to fish in any water, but it will yield less rewards. Unfortunately, not much has been mentioned about coastal fishing, so we really don't know too much about it, but I do anticipate seeing, hopefully, all 3 of these in Alpha 2. And that finally takes us to the one that's going to be the real moneymaker for the fishermen, and that's the deep sea fishing. This is more of a sports style fishing that you just previously saw in ArcheAge that will feature a mini game and require better fishing poles along with expensive lures. So along with the upgraded fishing poles and the aforementioned expensive lures, you're also going to need a fishing boat. Now in ArcheAge, the fishing boat, you were able to hold 5 in the tank of the regular fry fish and 2 of the gargantuans on the crane in the back. I'm going to assume that it's going to be pretty similar in the way that they do this. Now, according to Steven, fishing will be lucrative if done well. And that's why it's said that deep sea fishing will be the highest of all 3 types of fishing as far as monetary rewards. And as it should be, because you're going to have to go out in the sea and really risk it for the biscuit, as you're going to face constant dangers not only with the sea creatures, but shameless puddle pirates and those having nothing better to do than steal your hard-earned work while killing you and sinking your boat. It will be far safer to fish in numbers. Pescarade, anyone? As bad actors will need to come up in force to get their loot. Now don't count on your fishing buddies hanging around to fight. In ArcheAge, they would run faster than a fat kid chasing a chocolate bar and leave you as a sacrificial peon for the pirates. You can certainly expect more of the same in Ashes of Creation, so definitely try to fish with your friends and your life should be a little bit easier. In ArcheAge, if you had fishing gear on also, your gear score was considerably lower and you were a much easier target. So in theory, all we should have to do is swap our weapon because we're going to be able to wear our fishing gear along with our armor in Ashes of Creation. Now we're going to discuss some of the other benefits that you will be able to get from fishing that require multiple applications, such as, but not limited to, furniture, clothing, not sure if I want to wear some clothes made from fish, just saying, costumes, potions, possibly needed for your basic health and mana potions, food, very important for buffs, and also, since cannonballs and gunpowder will not be present in Ashes of Creation, and they will utilize potion launchers, it is possible some fishing materials will be needed for those, which would certainly be a great way to earn some extra coin. Additionally, treasure can be found if your catch is big enough. Now, I'm not sure if he's referring to treasure chests like in New World or extremely large fish. In ArcheAge, there was a gargantuan sunfish that was very rare, and you could make it a trophy, and that would be furniture for your house. That being said, I did enjoy catching some odd stuff in New World along with those shiny treasure chests. So now we're going to go over currently the 6 type of fish that you can catch are bluegill, crabfish, which has a striking similarity to my ex-mother-in-law, grouper, largemouth snapper, and then spotted trout. I'm positive these will not be all the fish we're going to see, and I expect much larger versions of the sport fish that has yet to be shown to us, and I can't wait. This is all the stuff that we know that Steven has plans for with fishing in Ashes of Creation. I can tell you from a personal experience that fishing in ArcheAge was a very, very fun system, and that he is taking much of that system and making it better with his own ideas. Gives me a lot to be excited for. Fishing was very relaxing, chill kind of activity. Though, if you wanted the real money in ArcheAge, you needed to put on your big boy waders and go into the deep end, so to speak. And it's a dangerous world on the sea. You got to fish with one eye open and the other on the horizon. Because if you're not looking, I can assure you the pirates are.
The Lord tells me he can get me out of this mess, but he's pretty sure you're fucked.
The last note about fishing is it probably could come in handy, especially if you own a freehold as well, and you coupled that with perhaps, let's say, alchemy, because a fishery can be a farmable workstation that you can place on a freehold plot. A fishery allows gathering of fish that are unique to the fishery blueprint. As I touched on before, I truly believe that the experienced fisherman willing to risk it all in the seas should be the highest rewarded monetarily out of all the gathering professions. No other gathering profession is going to face the potential of being surprised by the degenerates of the sea just trying to bring his family home some food for dinner. In the sea, there is no corruption, so there are no repercussions for people attacking you. And before all you processors and crafters go crazy saying the gatherer should be the highest rewarded, again, I said out of the gathering professions. I don't expect those to outgain processing or crafting, at least in the long run. In summary, we went over where Steven's inspiration for fishing might be coming from with ArcheAge, what types of fishing there is, and the listed types of fish currently. Also, what applications they might be used for, talking about some of the dangers and inherently will come with fishing on the deep sea. And if you're still watching, I wanted to give everybody who's watching a big thank you because most likely by the time this video is released, we've hit 100 subscribers in just about 2 weeks. And being a brand new channel, I can't express my gratitude enough, and I can't do this without your support. I will continue to work hard for you and try to provide you with quality content to view, as it will get easier from the thin air that we're having to put out right now. As Alpha 2 gets closer, we'll have more content to go over. I look forward to being interactive with the community and talk to you guys and engage in your comments. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like and subscribe. Remember, it's free and it really helps me out. Also leave a comment if you plan to try fishing and what type. Thank you, Vera, and have a great day.
Work complete.